Okay, so we are here again, and now we are doing week 8 video role play for Psych 301. And this week's video role play is emphasizing on affirmations and promoting immediacy. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to do the role today of the counselor, trying to introduce the affirmations and maybe even get a immediacy promotion in there. And you're going to be telling your story about something in the future that you may try to do that has a feeling a little anxious about it because it's something different that you've never really engaged in before. So we're going to go ahead and get started.
Okay, so you know that I'm 37 weeks pregnant now, and I've had a really, really positive pregnancy so far. Excuse me. And something that has I've been thinking about lately um, is after the baby's born and getting into a routine and a plan to get myself back into a better physical condition, but but a bigger plan than just like baby weight, because
Right.
it's like a lifestyle change that will include the family, but also something that I want to focus on personally for myself, to get into better physical condition than I was prior to being
Right.
pregnant.
So you're basically not just wanting to get back in the gym to drop the baby weight,
Hmm.
but you're actually wanting to commit to lifestyle change, physical fitness, better eating, more healthy living,
Hmm.
and try to reach a goal in those areas that you've never really set a goal that high before in the past.
Hmm. And nothing that specific.
Okay.
It previously I've had a gym membership. I've been active, but I never had a goal set. It was just I don't know, just for fun.
Right. So there's gonna be so this time around you're wanting to really get more structured,
Right.
keep records, keep track of
Hmm.
weight loss, gains in physical fitness, and track your goals more closely.
Right. I think that throughout this pregnancy and having monthly first weigh-ins and then weekly weigh-ins has really intrigued me into my body structure
Right.
and how I can move forward with that knowledge, because that's something I never used to
Right.
keep track of at all.
I know I can say as somebody who knows you well, was your husband, and spent time around you, and you know learned all the details, about how you conduct business basically in your life. I know that you have the tools and the motivation, the drive, the ability to stick with this, to create this goal, and to stick with it and see it through and be successful.
Hmm. I think so, and having the accountability of the family and having you guys a part of, I mean, it will be a family activity,
Right.
but at least specifically for me, it would be more um, structured. I don't know. And going into um, the schedule part is giving me conflict, I think, um, about, because I still don't know. I mean, I guess in 3 months going back to work, and then I guess childcare. I know we've talked about childcare in the gym, at least, even with having Rebecca now, how that would work out. Her being 9, so it's not like she would be interested in working out right
That's
now. Like,
always a major concern.
she's at an age where you can't leave her home, but she wouldn't be interested in going on a treadmill
Right.
at this time.
That makes sense. It seems like you've identified time to be one of the potential barriers or issues or things associated with this new goal of better health and physical fitness, but you're looking at time and kind of identifying that as a source of stress.
Yeah, because I don't know, I can't really plan anything, but I know that structure will be the main part, and a schedule would be the main part to keep everyone accountable is to have a set schedule on when it's going to take place, at least,
Right.
and how it's going to end up happening.
Now, I know we've been having these sessions and having this time to communicate, and we both like it a lot, and we feel like it's good for us. How would you feel going back to the concept of time being an issue? Um, that now we may no longer, going forward, have enough time after the baby and all the new developments to have these sessions and take this time and to communicate in this way and touch base. How do you feel about that? About the fact that time is an issue in that new goal, and time could also be an issue in what we're doing here.
I think time's always an issue. It's kind of scary, but you just have to make time, I guess.
Right. And then the busyness of our schedule. But I mean, think about the changes that you've been through, and me right there with you. But focus on you for now. Let's go back the last 2 or 3 years. Career, brand new. Moving multiple times, so new environment, new relationships. Just everything is new, and think about how good you've already shown that you can handle so much change. And here we go again with another major life change, and again, you're showing every step of the way that you have the abilities and you have all the skills necessary in your toolbox to move gracefully through the transitions. So this new goal of working out and reaching new heights, again, another major transition. Time was a major factor on your mind with this new goal, and time has always been a factor with all the previous transitions that you've made through so smoothly. So it's kind of like working into the same pattern that when you put your mind to it, when you set goals, even against time and transition, you've still been able to be successful.
I can see that.
What do you think about that? How do you build on that going forward?
That's good. It's good news. It has to be like has to be one of the main things that I just don't lose. You know what I mean? Because it's important. And I think that it'll help everyone. Like I said, it'll give us family time together. It's just trying to plan out something that I've never been through, and trying to foresee how it's gonna play out is like, it's hard. I can only see a certain so far.
Right, and I mean, it just sounds like the goal itself is something that's very important to you. It sounds like that's another place where the stress is being generated from. Is this is an important thing. I want this to work out. I want to go through it smoothly and achieve all the goals and the timelines that I see them in my mind. But then you're able to see part of the vision clearly, and then due to some constraints and limitations here or there, you're not. The anxiety is built around the part that you can't clearly see.
But I also don't want to settle and say that this is just a me thing, and then I'll go in the morning and then no one else participates. You know what I mean? I don't want it to take that direction. Because in the past, when I would go to the gym, I would go before work, and I would get up at 6,
Right.
and be back by 7 to get ready for work at 8. But that's not the direction that I want to take this time, because I want it to be somewhat of like a family, something. I haven't figured that part out.
Right.
But that I want you to be able to benefit from that as well, and I don't want to isolate this goal in particular.
That makes a lot of sense. So, again, as I'm hearing you talk about it, what I'm kind of drawing up is the positive aspect of it. The fact that this sounds like a manageable challenge, even though it's going to be a challenge, just like everything else has been. But the same way that you've been able to navigate through those challenges in the past, it just sounds like the fact that you're giving it so much thought, the fact that you're identifying the hurdles potentially, like this is what's going to allow you to work through it.
I think so.
And we're going to go ahead and that'll wrap up the counseling portion of it, and now we're going to go into a little bit of reflection. So, again, to hit on what the major points of this week's chapter was, you had the counselor giving affirmations, and you also had the promoting of immediacy. So the affirmations are the point of them is to kind of reaffirm, reinforce with the client that build on their strengths, build on their past successes, and reinforce the idea that basically the counselor believes in the client's ability to work through the hurdles and to be successful in the achieving of their own goals. The promoting immediacy is trying to take an identified problem from the real world or from outside the counseling session that the client is facing, and how do you incorporate that back into the counselor dynamic with the client. So let's stay right on that. There was one instance during the session when I tried to key on the promoting immediacy. So what I did was, when you had identified time as a potential barrier to being able to achieve the physical fitness goals and the lifestyle goals, then I kind of brought it back to, well, now that you mentioned that, how would you feel that time affects what we're doing here? These sessions, these times that we've been able during the course of this semester to get together and have these communications and to kind of learn this communicative style and how much we like that. So how does that same challenge of time play into what we're actually doing right here? And then I kind of built on that, and I didn't know I was going to go this direction. This is kind of the cool thing about it is I knew that I wanted to promote immediacy, but I didn't know that once I did, I would end up using that to kind of reinforce, back to the affirmation side of it, to reinforce the fact that you were able to overcome hurdles that involve time limitations in the past. Boom. So that's back to an affirmation. That's reinforcing the idea you built on this success from the past. You have the tools, and I had mentioned that a couple times. So I started with the affirmations. I introduced or promoted the immediacy, and then that kind of automatically looped me back to using that to build on the affirmation side of it again. How did that feel with you giving the story, the goal, the barrier, and then everything that I just described? What was that like for the person giving the problem?
It was positive. It helped me think back to those times, and it was a positive outcome.
Very good. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. Again, this was week 8 video, Psych 301. Thank you.